Just in, CBSA seizes $23 million in cocaine, hidden in Albertan truck, near the US-Canada border. At first glance, it looked like just another ordinary truck rolling up to the border. A commercial vehicle with Alberta plates, regular paperwork, and nothing out of the ordinary, until officers at the Couts border crossing took a closer look. Now, it's front-page news across the country. The Canada Border Services Agency, CBSA, has confirmed the seizure of over 180 kilograms of cocaine, estimated to be worth $23 million on the street. And the source of this massive haul? A transport truck registered in Alberta, heading back into Canada from the United States. CBSA officials say the truck was selected for secondary screening based on a combination of risk indicators, driver behavior, and possibly pre-flagged intelligence. The vehicle was routed to an advanced inspection bay where border agents used a combination of X-ray imaging, canine units, and manual search techniques. What they discovered shocked even experienced officers. Dozens of tightly wrapped bricks of cocaine, hidden inside false compartments built directly into the trailer's floor and side walls. A high-level smuggling method that suggests the involvement of a well-financed criminal network. The drugs were professionally concealed, indicating that this was not the first time this route had been used. But this time, something went wrong for the smugglers. The driver, a Canadian citizen in his early 40s, was taken into custody immediately. Authorities have not yet released his name, citing the ongoing nature of the investigation, but say he is facing serious federal charges, including importation of a controlled substance, possession for the purpose of trafficking, and possibly conspiracy to distribute under Canadian criminal law. But here's where things get even more serious. According to internal CBSA briefings, this shipment may be connected to a larger organized crime operation operating across Alberta, British Columbia, and the Pacific Northwest of the United States. Law enforcement sources believe the smuggling route was designed to take advantage of both domestic and cross-border trucking lanes, with the cocaine possibly originating from Mexico or the southern U.S., and moving north through Montana before entering Alberta. The truck was believed to be en route to a warehouse in the lower mainland of BC, a region long suspected of being a hub for drug staging and redistribution across Canada. Officials say the seizure was made possible thanks to intensified intelligence sharing between CBSA, the RCMP, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, and Interpol. The bust comes as part of a broader crackdown launched earlier this year to target transnational drug trafficking operations exploiting Canada's commercial transport corridors. In a statement, CBSA said, "This operation is the result of precise intelligence, expert enforcement, and international cooperation. The scale of this seizure demonstrates the lengths criminal networks will go to, but it also proves that we're getting better at stopping them." Security analysts are calling this bust a major win for border enforcement and a red flag for how embedded organized crime may be in cross-border logistics. Now, political figures and security experts are demanding action. MPs from Alberta and BC have called for stricter scanning technologies, mandatory random inspections at key crossing points, and deeper vetting of high-volume transport operators. Some are even pushing for a nationwide audit of commercial trucking routes suspected of cartel exploitation. And while this one bust may have stopped $23 million worth of drugs from reaching Canadian streets, law enforcement believes it's just one truck in a much larger fleet, with similar shipments possibly having already passed through undetected. For now, the investigation continues. RCMP officials are now digging deep, not just into the truck or the driver, but into a much wider web of operations. They're analyzing bank transfers, communication records, GPS data, and even surveillance footage from storage sites across Alberta and British Columbia. Investigators believe this truck was just one piece of a larger supply chain, possibly connected to international cartels or domestic crime syndicates operating on both sides of the border. Sources close to the investigation say that additional arrests are imminent, and they may not be limited to Alberta. Suspected operatives in Ontario, Quebec, and even northern U.S. states like Montana and Washington are now on the radar. If confirmed, this case could expand into a multi-jurisdictional takedown, involving federal agencies on both sides of the border. And as more intelligence is gathered, one thing becomes increasingly clear. This was not some one-off, low-level smuggling job. This was highly coordinated, involving modified transport equipment, logistical planning, and possibly corrupt insiders. The $23 million in cocaine that was caught? That might just be the tip of a much larger iceberg. So stay tuned, because if this is what they intercepted, how much more has quietly made its way into Canadian cities undetected? And more importantly, who's really behind the curtain, orchestrating it all? Disclaimer: this video is for informational and reporting purposes only. All details are based on publicly available statements from law enforcement agencies, news sources, and official press releases as of the time of recording. The investigation is ongoing, and facts may evolve as new information emerges. We do not allege guilt or involvement of any individuals beyond what has been officially confirmed. Viewers are encouraged to follow updates from the CBSA, RCMP, and related authorities for the most accurate and current information.